Hello. Could you please tell us about your initiative that has been supported by the European Endowment for Democracy and how you feel that it's helping Syrian citizens?
So the initiative being supported by the EED is one of the projects that we are running in the north of Syria. The project is on challenging extremism and also at the same time increasing the capacity of the peaceful activists in the region. We think like this would help Syrians also in the north because after 4 years of revolution they had also an external and a new threat beside the regime in Syria, which is also the extremist and jihadist who also targeted the peaceful activists in that area. So by increasing their capacity and also applying some of the skills that we learned from the previous 3-4 years in Syria, we thought that this also would secure their lives, and also at the same time this would help them to challenge this new threat and also do some of the community organizing to benefit from what they achieved during the last 3-4 years.
Thank you. And a very simple question, could you tell us how you discovered the European Endowment for Democracy or how your organization discovered us?
I was in an advocacy mission in Brussels, in Europe, with the European Network for Human Rights. And it was one of our visits to your office in Brussels, and this is where they briefed us about the project. Frankly, we didn't thought of applying to the EED at the beginning because we knew that it's small funds, and normally we prefer that small NGOs would really benefit from this, especially with the flexibility of not being registered with the back issue. So we know that many of the Syrian groups and organizations fit this position while we are registered in Brussels. But then later on, because this project is somehow also might be considered as ambiguous for many foundations, and also it doesn't require a lot of financial resources. So we thought that this might be a good chance also to cope with the EED and start with them. And then later on, at least we could transfer this experience to other Syrian NGOs and associations, so where they can also benefit from the EED.
Okay, thank you. And the last big question, democracy. It's a word that's used over and over and over and over again for many, many purposes. But what does the word or the idea, the concept mean for you personally? And what would you say it means to Syrians today? Syrians living, especially those living in Syria still.
Democracy, as you mentioned before, it's the same name in Arabic, Demokrati, and even translating the name, it's mean like something external to our language and culture. And frankly, my concept about democracy has been changed a lot since the conflict in Syria started. Because for me, at the beginning, democracy meant that it's somehow an open platform where everyone has the right to participate in political life and also at the same time to monitor government. And I connected it more with the good governance. But then later on, with what's happening in Syria, I found like it's not only about elections, free will of people, and also equality and participation in political life. For me now, democracy is very well connected with accountability, and very well also connected to human rights with dignity. It's not just about the elections. It's about also those who would believe and commit to democracy. Because what happened like in neighboring countries where some also of the political parties and extreme parties in which for them elections might be just a mean to seize the power and then do something similar in repressing other political groups or ethnic groups. So for me it's like democracy should be also reflect those who believe in democracy. It's not that just who would use the elections as a mean. This is why it should be also more about the principles, about the accountability, and also about human rights, education, equality, and many other stuff. And time with time, it's getting also more complicated because it sounds like during conflict like something really far away from idealism, especially like what happened in Syria right now. And this also would move me to the second part of the question, what Syrians would think about democracy. And I think what the conflict did in Syria is that it divided Syrians, like in many ways. So I think if I would be honest, I cannot tell what Syrians really want from democracy or what democracy means to Syrians, because this would be different to each and single Syrian depending on where and where they are right now, or also what they suffered also from the regime, also if they have been abandoned from democratic countries and people also. So I can't answer this question because I think it would be like different for each single Syrian right now.
Thank you for pointing also to the complexity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.